What a stunning view with the mountains. Wow. Okay. So, first and most important is the macros. Macros. So the most important ones, in short, you can see all my damaging spells are macroed, and that is because of the pet, because of the Shadow Bite. I have macroed for Demonology the pet Cleave, and for Affliction the Shadow Bite into every spell. So into Haunt there's a /cast at pet target exists Shadow Bite, and that will trigger this Shadow Bite. And the reason for that is, if you don't do it, the pet will only cast it every 2.5 to 3 seconds instead of every 2 seconds, because it only has a 2-second cooldown. But if you press all your buttons, it will do more Shadow Bites over the period of a fight. And that is actually a lot of DPS. I maybe can show it later in some logs, but just try it out for yourself. Macro a Shadow Bite into every spell, and then compare it to your guildie's Warlock next Affliction log, who doesn't have this macro, and you will see a lot more Shadow Bites in one fight, which results into, I don't know, 50 DPS, 100 DPS, I don't know right now, but it's not nothing. So this is the first one. Then there's an Inferno macro. The Inferno macro just says Inferno cast at cursor, so I will cast it on the ground where I'm with my cursor, and then instantly pet defensive. It's just automatic into this because the pet is on aggressive and will run around and add trash packs if you do it on a trash pack, but as well a pet attack on your current target, and use a Spiced Mammoth Tread. It's just, I don't know, DPS increase of a few DPS, but it's a DPS increase. So you will hammer this shift 4 a few times, and then your pet is on defense. It has well fed and was casted on your cursor. Yeah, okay. That's the second one. Then for the pull, you have a pre-pull macro, which is actually not the best one, because you lose 1 second of your wild magic or your potion of speed. But to make it more easy and don't miss your pre-pot, you can either cast Life Tap rank 1 and Potion of Wild Magic to get the Life Tap glyph and your pre-pot. These are both the same, speed and magic. And for some, this is the one for this, and there is, I don't know, not here, but I have a macro for switching from Jousters to back to, I don't know, Flare maybe, slash equip Flare of the Heavens, and then you could maybe pre-proc Jousters. I don't have equipped it long enough. You pre-prog your Jouster's Fury, which I don't know if it's worth anymore. But this is possible to pre-prog something. Pre-prog any trinket. Okay, now dislodge foreign object proc from live tab. But come on, give me a Jousters. Bad proc rate, 10%. So now Jousters procced, and I will now use the Potion of Wild Magic and have both these crit and swapped pre-pull to your main trinket, which is Flare, which has now a 30-second GCD, so it cannot proc in the opening 30 or 25 seconds, but could be worth, or was worth in TUGC. And yeah, that's it. But for now, I'm not using it on my main char. Yeah, and then of course you have you can do a weapon swap. So pre-pull, I want to equip with the weapon macro just your 2 or 3 weapons that have crit on it, and then the main corruption macro, which says use never melting ice crystal. So this is our big corruption right here, which activates never melting ice crystal in fight, and then instantly casts corruption to snapshot the full 920 crit rating, and this works in 1 GCD. So it activates the trinket that instantly pops corruption, so your corruption has 20% more crit. And that's important after your corruption, because you want to snap these crit ratings from these weapons as well. After the corruption hits, then it re-equips your 2 or 3 weapons, and of course the Shadow Bite as well. So you have everything procced. Maybe you wait for tier 10, just the case, you wait for tier 10 proc from Unstable Affliction, tier 10 procs, and then you can finally put your main corruption on it. I press corruption once, my macro here, swap my weapons, and use Never Melting Ice Crystal. So that is all in one. If you want to do the flask swap as well, you can bind a /use Flask of the Frostworm into it. That would work as well. So you can pre-pull use crit elixirs and int elixir as well. So that's possible as well. Then 25% phase, Drain Soul. I have a second Drain Soul here, which is for the moment I want to snap everything into my Drain Soul. That's not the right one. Okay, I don't know why it's the name Potion of Speed, but yeah, this is the moment. Because the boss fights are pretty long, you have a long execute phase of like, I don't know, 30 seconds to 1 minute. So you don't have to instantly, like in phase 1 next Ramus, you had to instantly pop everything at 25% because the bosses were dying so fast. Now you have time. You have time to wait below 25% for, I don't know, maybe wait for Flare of the Heavens, maybe wait for Dislodged Foreign Object, wait for Power Infusion to get ready again, and stack everything. We will come to add-ons later, or Weakauras. You wait for, or for 4-piece tier 10. You wait for a good moment where you have as much buffs as possible, and then you press the second Drain Soul. You can do it with Shift or Alt or as a second button, and then it will pop everything. /use 10 is for gloves. If you have a haste on use trinket like Scale of Fates, put it in there, Potion of Speed, and then cast Drain Soul. And it also has a cast sequence cancel, I don't know, CQS. I don't know if it does anything, but yeah. it has it in there. So you pop everything then, and together with your PI and your trinkets, and you can wait for, like, I don't know, till 15%, 10% of the boss, and that's worth it, because you want a big potion. You want a big drain soul, as big as possible, and you can snap. Maybe you have 1 second left on 4-piece tier 10. You have flare or dislodge for an object or still on, and you have the haste buffs still on you. Then you will recast another drain soul to snapshot all these buffs and get a big last drain off. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, let's quickly check the rest of the. I will do only the. Oh, this is for Metamorphosis, for Demonology Warlocks. You can cast your Metamorphosis and your Immolation Aura and your Shadow Cleave and your Gloves and your Global Zapper and your Pet's Cleave. You can maybe do a Focus. These are optional macros right now. We're just looking at them. Maybe there's a nice one for you. This is a cast at Focus Shadow Bolt rank 1. If you want to keep up corruption on your off target, I don't know, Shadow Fury. This is nice. A spell lock cast at mouse over spell lock. Your pet will do. I have it on E now. I don't have anything here, but if I mouse over at a mob that is casting something, I have Plater, so I see a cast bar on my nameplate. I can press this button and the pet will spell lock this target, but stay on the boss. So that's pretty good on some fights or trash. And another more general macros for PI, for power infusion. You can use this Weakauras thing, or simply /W your assigned priest and I don't know, PI me please, whatever this discipline priest wants you to write to him. Then important at the beginning, your camera angle, /console camera distance max zoom factor, everything together. I don't know if you have to put a big letters in here. I don't know, 4. So you press it and you can zoom far out. I don't know if there's any other possibilities, but that's what I use. For Serenite bombs, this would be the best thing to do. Cast /use at cursor a Serenite bomb, so you can, I don't know, do something, run around, cast, and between 2 casts you can use E, and it will instantly throw the bomb at your cursor without you having to click it again, or losing uptime. That's another possibility. We have. That's another thing I use because it's easier for me, so that I use global thermal zapper charges and Serenite bombs at all. I have macroed it into my Doom and into my Curse of Agony, so that I have CD now, but if I use Curse of Agony, it will drop a global thermal zapper charge or a Serenite bomb at my cursor, or zapper is around myself, so stay near the boss or the trash. And so you just hit it and don't have to worry about your bombs. Then this is something I think it is pretty nice to have, a focus haunt macro. Simply /cast at focus haunt, and a normal haunt with the shadow bite, because on some bosses you want your haunt on the boss, like Lady Death Whisper, like Professor Putricide. and you have Deathbringer Saw thing, but you don't have the boss in the target. You focus target it, then you can do something on ads, turn around, or look straight to the boss. Use your focus haunt. The focus haunt goes on the boss, and you still have the ads in your target and do whatever you want on the ads. So this helps me a lot to keep up the corruption on the main target. Just focus it, and you don't have to swap targets anymore. Then there's a nice mount macro. It's just nothing has nothing to do with DPS, but yeah, you will dismount and use, if flyable, you will use your flying mount, and otherwise use your ground mount. Just a fun thing: cast Ritual of Souls, your health stone, and say it's a 0 of 2 skilled health stone, which is in every spec. I don't know, nobody specs this. Then I don't use scale anymore. The seed. For seed, it's also easy to use every haste you want. Use demonic empowerment. You can also write for demonology. You can in every cast you can do demonic empowerment to have maximum uptime. Here as well, use at cursor Serenite Bomb and then cast the seed, so that I can seed faster and use bombs on trash. Soulfire macro, not that interesting. I think that's it. Here you can see another Shadow Bite. Yeah, that's about trinkets. Now, let's say first add-ons, because add-ons should be pretty straightforward and easy. Nothing special. For DPS, what's interesting for maybe you need Foji core for your weak aura, for the best raid weak aura later on. As you've seen, I use item rack to equip the crit trinkets if I want them fast. It's just an easy way. Plater. I like Plater because it has nameplates with your dots on it, with a cast bar on it, and it's a really nice nameplate add-on. I do have a quartz bar, which is double because here's a cast bar in it as well, but I wanted a cast bar to see my ticks from Drain Soul. That's pretty important as well, so that I can watch and can clip my Drain Soul. Method Raid Tools is pretty nice. You can also see your the Discipline Priest's power infusion, if it's ready or not. But I have another weak aura for that as well. And that's pretty much everything. Weak auras, of course, because the most interesting ones are the weak auras. And the weak auras, this one I use, maybe it's something is doubled, but I use this one, Drain Soul Smart Helper, DSS, I don't know what it is, but it shows me on the right side power infusion, lust, and haste procs, and potion, and maybe more trinkets. These are all buffs that can be snapshotted for your Drain Soul. This only pops up below 25%, and then I can see, oh, I have all these haste buffs, so I will do another drain. Helpful. Then a Drain Soul tick text. It pops up every time, every 1 or 2 seconds, every time a Drain Soul tick is coming. It also has a text on it. This is insanely helpful if you have a cast pushback, because you have I will show it later. You will have your fixed tick points, five ticks on a Drain Soul cast, and even on Quartz or any other cast bar I know. You cannot see the real ticks after you got a pushback, because then your ticks will not be at these marks. So you need to wait for the tick text popping up, and then you can do your next cast. Eradication proc. This was a nice thing that was glowing up to see the last the 10 seconds of eradication procs from corruption. But I redesigned it now to trigger from devious minds. I don't know. I thought it's pretty important to see your tier 10 procs more than eradication procs, because you have the only important thing for eradication proc is below 25%, and I have it in here. I will see it here below 25% if I need to snap Drain Soul for eradication. So it's just another thing to see the tier 10 proc, so that I know I need to resnap corruption or something like that. Then the Foji tier 10 rating pack. This is what you see boss timers and everything in these circles and enrage and whatever. This is pretty big. I think most of the raids use it. You have to buy it, and I think you can buy a raid license. And yeah, and I have an extra Foji seed icon on nameplates. This is insanely good because it has a small number and a seed icon on your nameplates, and shows you how many targets you hit with your seed. Because if you seed, here's a bunch of mobs and you seed the left one, you only hit maybe like half of the mobs. And if you put a seed onto the middle mob, you will hit all mobs, and this will say a number like, if you hit the left one, it says like 4. And if you hit in the middle, it says 7. So you can see how many targets you hit. It was especially helpful for a noob in phase 3 to see if you can hit all of targets mainly. So then a very important one is ICD Brick Zone. I modified this. You just need the spell ID to see all my trinkets that I want to see, and this is pretty big. This is my my procs, my spell power procs, and I look a lot here to see my spell power procs, and then I don't know, drain or do something, do more damage, and stack everything, stack buffs. There's dislodge for an object and everything. You can customize it. There's Jibes boss frames. I don't use that a lot, but maybe for Blood Council it's okay because you can click on it and swap target if you have multiple targets on a fight. This is the one I use since, I don't know, phase 1. The Lux pause he has maybe for every, I think for every class, just an easy customizable frame here for mana, cast bar, buffs like tier 10. If Drain Soul is available, like 25%, your main dots. It's not the best one, but yeah, I like it. I'm used to play with it. Then this is the called PI cooldown tracker. You write your discipline priest right in here. I think you can write down multiple entries by commas, and then you will see the cooldown from this priest when he used it, and it is on cooldown. It will track it. It will say 1 minute, 30 seconds. I don't know. You also have it in your method raid tool, but yeah, that's another possibility to to watch when PI is available again. So you can use it again. You can ask again for PI. Soulstones. It's down here. I like it to see the other Warlocks. If other Warlocks used the Soulstone. I will see Lessive WL casted Soulstone on Lessive WL. And so you will see all Warlocks here, and it's preventing that you use Soulstone on the same target or forget your Soulstone. And it's also pretty big for all raid leaders. Then threat differential on nameplates, because I used to over nuke and over aggro a lot in phase 2. It shows a percentage on the nameplate. I don't know if it's important, but because the nameplates from Plater, I think they glow yellow if you're close to over aggroing, close to the threat cap, and red if you have aggro as a damage dealer, and green if not. I don't know. Yeah. Then a kill timer. Timer 2, it's called Foji Time to Kill. Shows how many minutes and seconds you're into the fight in green, and shows it calculates the time the boss takes to be defeated. So it's not 100% right, but because damage spikes if lasted higher and during execute, the raid DPS gets higher. Mechanics lower your raid DPS. So this is not accurate 100%, but together with this one, you know, like we killed this boss in like 4 minutes. We killed it last week in 4 minutes. So you can use this as a tip. Like if you're 3 minutes into the fight and see like 50 seconds left, then it's mainly for using Infernal, right? Using your Infernal 1 minute before death. And the Corruption Snapshot Weak Aura, which is pretty good because it shows you the damage gain if you have tricks, if you have Devious Minds tier 10 proc, or if you are below 35%, you will see a yellow sign that says damage plus 10%. And also for crit, if you, I think it's not working because I'm not in fight, but if you use Never Melting Ice Crystal, it will show you plus 20% crit. It's not that accurate because with the Corruption macro, you use Never Melting Ice Crystal and instantly pop Corruption. So maybe this is not that accurate. As well with the Shadow Bolt and Scorch on the boss, it's not 100% right. So don't focus too much on it. I've seen Warlocks always seeing, oh no, minus 5% crit, I did something wrong, and then they reapply Corruption again and again, and it was just a false weak aura. So yeah, believe in yourself and yeah, wait for all the buffs and then apply Corruption. That's it for the weak auras. I think the most important ones. Avalon is not anymore important anymore. Automatic whispers for PI. That was very helpful, I think, for Ulduar, or maybe for speedruns, I don't know, because you can auto whisper for PI. You don't have to ask for PI manually. It will automatically whisper your priest on, and maybe on the bosses, like let's say Ignis, the Furnace Master in Ulduar. You can use the unit ID and you can do it for all bosses. And it says it whispers the priest at 99% boss health. You have to have the boss in the target. Then it automatically whispers your priest at 99% boss health, so at the start of the fight. And then again, at 26% for the execute phase. Well, not that bad. Do I use these cast bars? No. Anything else? The Demonic Pact Snapshotter, not that important anymore, but nice to have as a Demonology Warlock to see how big your Demonic Pacts are. I tried to fix it, but couldn't get it right, but because it still has the logic of 11%, 11% on your first snapshot. I tried to delete it, the 10%, I don't know where it was, but it was not working 100%. There is a Foji Infernal reminder which says annoyingly infernal, but it annoyed me so much, the sound, because it came at the wrong timing, so I deleted that. Then this is for, I think, for the other side if you are a priest, but I have it to share it to a priest that doesn't know how to use it. So on the priest side it says give me power infusion and marks the warlock in the raid frame. And then I think the paladin auras are pretty good as well, because you have to keep an eye on paladin auras, especially for concentration aura. It's so fucking annoying if you drain soul or shadow bolt or I don't know, and you have a spell pushback. And sometimes the paladins forget to have concentration aura in the fight. Just one thing. And that should do it. A TBC rocket boots check is pretty helpful for speedruns later on in ICC. If you equip them, it's bumping around so that you don't forget to re-equip your the right shoes, because you can use this speed and then again the hyper speed, the rocket boots, the nitro boots from your main boots. Let's see, trinkets. Yeah, and then of course 2 important things. If you're out of range or don't have the 5% crit from Elemental Shaman or Druid Moonkins, most of the time it's not the case, because the Moonkin aura is, I don't know, 1 million yards. It's insane. You never get out of range. But you get often out of range from the Wrath of Air totem. This annoying totem has a very small range, and it's somewhat buggy, because if you, I don't know, simple thing, this is the totem, you are standing here, you are in range of the totem. You are starting the fight from, I don't know, from here, you are out of range of the totem, and even if you move to the place where you were in range, if you had started here, I don't know if it makes sense, you are still not in range. So you have to move closer to the totem. You get the totem buff. I don't know, it's an aura thing, and then you can move back to your position. I don't know, 30 yards. I think it's 30 yards, and you still have the buff. I don't know. It's really bad. Shamans put their totems somewhere far in the corner, not in the middle of the room. It's pretty annoying. You have to always move and see if you have your Breath of Air totem in range. Yeah, that's it for important weak auras. And obviously I cannot tell you anything about UI, because I use fucking bad Blizzard UI, and I cannot tell you anything about key bindings, because I hate key bindings. I'm still clicking some spells, and yeah, that's it. hope that it was helpful, and see you soon. Because I need a 10-man run now, and that should do it.